Hey everyone, my name is Anthony Johnson. I'm the CEO of 21 Studios and the founder of the 21 Convention. Today I'm here live with you on YouTube with Maximilian Gianmarco, aka Max. He has been working with us for a little while. He also attended the event last year in Orlando, and he runs his own thing over at Spartan Ownership, also on YouTube, not just the website. Max and I today are going to kind of talk about the event coming up, the 21 Convention 2017 10-year anniversary live event coming up in Orlando, Florida, to October 1st, 2017. It is the biggest event we've ever done. We have more attendees and speakers than ever, and it's coming up really, really fast in about 10 or 11 days, so real soon. On the YouTube channel throughout the year, we've put probably 500 links promoting the event, but we haven't done that many videos. We've done a podcast here about it with Ross Jeffries, with Rollo Tomasi a couple times, and so on and so forth. But we haven't done a lot of directly addressed videos about the event. And I want to take time today to do that with Max and with you guys on YouTube. So throughout this discussion, Max and I are going to have talking about the event, what's changed over the past year at the upcoming event itself, the speakers, and so on. You guys can ask questions, and Max and I will answer them live. No problem, up till about 4 o'clock today, so about 45 minutes total for the stream. Max, thanks for coming on the show.
Awesome, man. Glad to be here.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yep. So let's dig into it, man. I know you had some questions for me that you specifically wanted to kind of dig into.
Yeah, I think it's important for the audience to know some of the transformations that have occurred over the years. And that basically leads me to my first question, which is what changed from, say, the last one or two conventions to this one? What's the main difference?
Yeah, so first of all, this is our 14th event coming up, so we've done a ton. Last year there were 2. You attended just the one in Orlando, right? I don't think you were in Miami? Yeah. So yeah, the biggest change is obviously the red pill. I mean, we've done a total, Rollo called it a hard red turn personally, and then I put that into the company itself as quickly as I could, like in a snap, so to speak, in relative to 10, 11 years now history running the company. So that's been the biggest change. And that means, abandoning not only a personal level, a lot of blue pill idealisms and delusions, but also embracing things, and purple pill ones too, but embracing a red pill philosophy and set of ideas for myself and then for the company. So that has resulted most, observably in the speaking lineup. There's not a lot of alumni at this event, which is unusual for us. Over the years, we've accumulated over 100 alumni speakers, and usually they are like the majority of the speakers. Whereas this year, they're in a minority. We have maybe, including Tanner Guzzi, who's alumni now, we have just a handful, I think, of alumni. So it's not that many. And we have a lot of fresh faces, new ideas. And they're not just new, they're like, as you know, they're very radical and controversial. The red pill is like seen, and I think properly in some ways, as an evolution on the POA community. And it's a lot more intense and it's a lot more serious. And I've loved it, so much since finding it about a year ago, thanks to Nicholas Cloud. Over a year ago now, actually, about a year and a quarter. You found it as well too, right? You found it, I think maybe through me when I was going through it, months ago.
Actually, I knew about it. I knew about it for like 2 years almost, but I never really delved.
No shit.
I knew about it for a long time because I can't even remember how I came upon it. But I was talking about it with a friend, and he mentioned it, and he introduced me to the whole manosphere scene, and obviously that included Rollo stuff. So that's kind of how I came into it a little bit. But I didn't really know it was this big thing until, a few months in. But yeah, that's kind of how it came.
Yeah, I was aware of it too, a little bit through Rollo's blog I'd found in 2015, and the Red Pill subreddit had sent links to our videos on and off. So I knew what it was, sort of, but I didn't dive into it. I didn't think a lot about it. I just thought it was some sort of men's lifestyle, subreddit. There's a ton of them on Reddit like that. And I was like, cool, they like our videos, great. And then I kind of moved on, didn't think about it. I didn't see nothing actually, believe it or not, really caught my eye in terms of being super polarizing or abrasive or something like that. But I understand it now.
Yeah, Rollo stuff is it comes with a mental barrier because you can't just read it and be like, oh shit. You have to kind of delve into it because Rollo's style of writing is very brainy. You got to understand what he's talking about. He uses terms. You have to just kind of dive into it, and once the seed is planted, and then it's boom, it just turns into a tree, and you're like, holy shit, this is red pill.
Yeah, Yeah, I actually really like the way he writes. I mean, it's like really intellectual, and I think he calls it like a $10,000 lexicon or dictionary he uses or something. He has some phrase he uses for it, but I think it's great, and I think it's otherwise lacking in a culture. There's not a lot of manosphere blogs. Forget the manosphere. There's not a lot of blogs, period, that are like that in depth and detailed. And people make fun of him for it, but I think it's fucking stupid. Everybody wants everything dumbed down and like he says, the too long didn't read version,
Through that.
which is just dumb.
Definitely agree on that, man.
Yeah.
It makes it sound
Yep.
more authoritative too. I mean, if you can like, because he really does dive deep and he really does make it just well researched.
Yep.
He's like the Mark
Yep.
Simpson of dating, basically, is how I like to put it.
The Mark. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I got what you're saying, dude. Mark's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Cool. So did I answer your question though in terms of what's changed? I mean, I hope I didn't gloss over it. Like transitioning from a blue purple pill, probably a pretty purple pill event, to now a very very red one this quickly is like, in my opinion, it's one of the biggest and sharpest changes I think ever seen in the manosphere, at least for a company and an organization.
yeah,
We're not like RSD, like this multi-million-dollar thing, but this is a real company that's been around for a decade, and for it to change this fast, this hard is like it's a big shakeup. And I think we're going to see, like, I was talking to you, and I was talking to Mike about it the other day, Mike McNally. And yeah, I think you too. I think we went over this a bit over Skype. But yeah, it's going to be a big. The next year is going to be really, I think, hair raising, so to speak, in terms of like people just really getting lit up and very supportive about the red pill transition, and then very antagonistic and angry about it too, and like fuck Dream, and fuck the convention, and like all that shit.
yeah.
But,
That kind of leads me to my next question, which sort of still lets people know what the differences are between the previous convention and the one that's happening now. And
yeah.
you said it best. Like it's really a transition from like the blue and purple stuff to a more
Yep.
red lens. And
Yep.
what are some of the examples of speakers who are more on the red pill lens that are going to be attending?
Yeah. Sure. Well, let me actually back up a second too and say this: that the red pill. We've talked about male female relationships and dating, literally since the dawn of the convention. So it's not new to the company. It's just totally. This has been the center of it and the foundation of it for over a decade now, since I've been organizing it now for 11 years. So I think more than ever, though, the transition represents the company and the movement and the platform being, at this point now, I think completely unapproved by women, by the feminine imperative. Well, not all women, literally speaking, but uh, the the general kind of zeitgeist of that, like the general, the feminine imperative and feminism today. At this point, the convention has been it's not been very, we haven't been very friendly to feminism in a long time, but at this point it's like totally outside the realm of like socially and politically approved thought. So that is the difference. Whereas before, some of it was approved, some of it wasn't, depending on the speaker and the content. At this point, it's like 99% not approved by feminism, by the feminine imperative, by like almost anyone, like the majority of the population by a long shot at this point.
Definitely,
So
definitely took a very radical turn. Away from
yeah,
like the type of content that used to be put out was very, and just to kind of rehash it for those that don't really get the terms yet, but like blue pill and
yeah,
just to start with blue pill is more conventional thought when it comes to dating, is my
yep,
opinion. And then purple pill is like unconventional. There's a mix of like some evolutionary psychology and biology in there, but it's also mixed
yep.
in like idealistic views and stuff. And
Well, I
then
was actually talking to Rolo about this a little bit the other day, and what I realized, even as much as I studied pickup and experienced it and met with speakers all over the world and ran these events, I never really understood women until I found the red pill. I understood pickup, I understood how to get laid, I understood how to pull sane melee, sometimes very quickly, and all these different things. But I'd never understood women. I understood like tactics. I understood what I needed to do. I understood to some degree what a woman wanted in that context, but I really didn't know what to do after the fact. I had these kind of like vague ideas, and some of those were good, and some of those were bad. A lot of them I'd say were bad, at least in the long term. So yeah, the red pill like totally it helped me understand women a lot more than just on a very simplistic pickup aspect and game aspect.
definitely,
So that to me was the biggest difference I realized about myself and the company now.
exactly. And to just kind of reinforce that point, that's what the red pill is. It's like a no illusion approach to
Yes.
the dating game and to
Yep.
mating
Yep.
strategies and to all that stuff. And there's no like, gooey aspects to it. It's very straightforward and it's based on as much science as we can possibly muster for the subject. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
and it offers a great and empowering uh, perspective for men and
Yeah.
for women. But you have to get past that initial layer of discomfort, and that's
Yep.
why the convention now is going to be so radical because it's going to be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Parting ways with with all that conditioning we have, with all that idealism that's
Yep.
disempowering and destroying relationships. So it's gonna like piss off a lot of people, but the reason that you're
Yep.
going through with
It
it,
already does. It already does. Like anytime I write something about it, people a lot of times lose their fucking shit. I've lost hundreds of Facebook friends in the past by the past 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. So yeah, it's unreal. It just people just lose their shit. That's why it's part of the reason I love it. And it's part of the reason that it's so attractive. I don't necessarily like being this troll that just pisses people off, but I think anger is the way they're being a truth a lot of the time. And the red pill, dude, the red pill pisses people off to a depth and to a response rate so instantaneously that I've never seen. It makes politics and religion look like Teletubby shit or something. Like it's really really intense, and people just get angry with it.
definitely, and that's why I'm so freaking excited about the coming conference because
Yep.
man, it's gonna be spicy. Like it's we've been fed some mild shit,
Spicy.
but
Yep.
but that's another reason that you mentioned how there's not going to be that many alumni this year,
Yeah, that's right.
and
Yep.
not to dive too deep into shit, but just to kind of
Yep.
tell the audience a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of the alumni are having issues.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
So,
Yeah, I think Rollo. Yeah, we don't need to say names and stuff. Other
yeah,
than I think Rollo's been talking about this openly on his blog, but I think Rollo. Yeah, so he's hit on this on his blog a couple times, including recently, the most recent post as of this filming. I think at least this morning, I was taking a look at his blog at the comments and stuff. And yeah, there's I guess in a way it's like a changing of the guard, like old guard versus new guard, or even like a civil war in a sense between alumni speakers.
mhm.
And a lot of the old ones, like you mentioned, are not comfortable with the red pill. They're blue pill ideas and illusions and delusions in a sense, to the extent that they had them, which is different per speaker and per context. They're being challenged just like anyone else finding the red pill or being encountering it in some way. In this case, through my company and through the changes that are going on now. And yes, some of them are supportive and some of them are not, and some of them are very not supportive. They're fiercely angered by it or annoyed or whatever whatever you want to describe it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a big change, and that includes people that have been around for a long fucking time, not just like a year or two, but like half a decade or more.
Right.
So that's been that's in a way that's been sad to see, to be totally brutally honest and very open about it. People that I trust to stay committed to the truth and to reality have not done that in a way that I had hoped. And I think just people that have been close to me, like Socrates, is a good example. I think him seeing me embrace the red pill is not surprising in the slightest. This is like totally Anthony 101. But other people that weren't as close to me were more surprised by it, and that sucks that they can't. At least as of yet, we'll see what happens in the future. But as of yet, there hasn't been. A lot of them have been very annoyed by it and haven't jumped on the red pill train as of yet.
And yeah, once again, that's another reason why this is just going to be a really interesting time right now, like compared to all the other ones.
Yep.
Just to kind of like, we said we would kind of push the event and let people know throughout our conversation of how they can, get involved. And there's also a pretty awesome freaking deal going on. I think we should just mention real quick.
Yes. I totally forgot again. I fucking knew I would.
You told me to hold you accountable for it, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, thanks. Perfect. So yeah, what Max are you talking about is that they can buy tickets, and they should buy tickets to the event. There's actually 10 available today. They can get a ticket in the card at the top of the video. It's probably up there, maybe up there. And there's a link underneath the video in the video description, and they can get a link to buy a ticket right now to the event. There's still time to get a ticket. And if they use a discount code FINAL21, FINAL21, they'll get the ticket half off the full price. That started last night, and it ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, and that's it. After that, all the tickets go to full price, $14.99, and until they sell out, which we're almost sold out anyway. In total, we have like 22 tickets left or something like that, so not many. biggest event we've ever done. Ironically, once we not ironically, but we'll see how that pans out. But it's been, as of yet, we have more attendees and people attending the event than so VIPs and staff and speakers than we've ever had, and that's been pretty fucking badass. That's it. You know, people, it's funny, man. When people, again, no need to say names, but there was a speaker in particular who's been around for a long time who is very annoyed by the red pill, is very opposed to it, and he told me that business would be the best teacher with the red pill, and we've sold more tickets than we ever fucking have to an event. Viewership is up than like pretty much as high as it's ever been. We're kicking ass there. No, actually, if you count everything, it's higher than it's ever been. Everything is like booming. Like it's a whole like renaissance for the company itself in a way, by incorporating the red pill as fast and as efficiently as I can into it. And business has been the best teacher. I mean, fuck, that's not why I did it. I did it because I believe in it. But for that to happen on top of this big change has been like totally, you know, enlightening or enlivening in a way. To see that, to see the excitement for the event, and see the attendees coming out. Attending the event's hard, man. You did it last year. You got to buy a flight, hotel, take time off work, school, organize your life, get a ticket, you know, do all this shit to get to the event. It's like the opposite, I say, of Amazon Prime. It like, you know, it takes, you have to ship yourself to the product, and then you have to spend days experiencing it, and then get back, you know, get back to where you got to go.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's so true, man. That is so true, and that's easy to say, man. Like, yeah, a lot of people.
Yep.
To say that this is going to be the biggest event, yet the most controversial. That's one of the reasons why you guys have to come, man. Because like, this is not your typical shit right here, man. I mean, 21.
It's also the 10-year anniversary. On top of all the different shit going on, like on top of that is the 10-year anniversary since the first event in 2007 July. So on top of that, like fucking, like, there's so much just like colliding all at once. It's amazing. Hurricanes, fucking free speech stuff, YouTube cracking down on shit. Trump's like, this has been a wild year, man. This has been fucking awesome. I'm loving it.
Oh yeah.
So
and just to tell the audience a bit, like I spoke to quite a few attendees, you know, when I was giving them a call and everything, and you know, a lot of them are like recently divorced and everything, and I feel like that's, you know, recently divorced guys are going to be one of the guys that are going to really be getting like tons of value. I mean, young guys that never heard of this stuff before, this is going to give you an edge. Guys that just got divorced, man, this is going to give you a great ability and just a amount of resourcefulness to bounce back. And there's just so much value at this event for men in particular, and it's just not sure.
Well, Max, let me ask you a question, man. So you attended as a volunteer last year at the Orlando event, the Under 21 convention. That was a short 2-day event, but that was legit 21 convention.
Yeah.
Identical to the first event. It was a 2-day event back in 2007. So what was your experience like? You volunteered and stuff, but whatever. But what was it like as an attendee? That was your first time attending. What was that like, in terms of like how you profited, you know, personally and socially and like intellectually during and after the event?
So it was just great to be in contact and in touch with all these guys. And, you know, it's just a lot more interactive than just watching a video on YouTube or whatever. And really just getting to know these guys, you know, and having time to talk to them and ask them specific questions, you know. And
the speakers, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, the speakers. And also just networking with other men that have, you know, that are like-minded. And also, it just gives you a great story to bring back to other people. Like, you know, when you go back home and you tell guys like, hey, man, I just went to this conference and there was all these speakers and it was all about empowering men. Like, you know, it just gives you leverage to help other men. Like, I think the 21 convention in a lot of ways creates better leaders in men, you know? So I feel like that's what I got out of it. Is I came out of it. Now I have the brownie points to say, hey, I actually spoke to these guys, you know, and that puts me as an authority figure in a lot of situations where guys now look up to me and ask me, hey, man, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And that's what I feel like it's going to do to a lot of other guys, you know, like a lot of, that's the vision I see with the 21 convention in a lot of ways, is like, it's a way to empower men to become leaders in whatever field or area they're in. You know,
even if it's just in your personal life. I mean, a buddy of mine recently, he evacuated Orlando. I think it was a bad idea, but whatever. but he evacuated to Tampa, which was a really bad idea. And then he went, and then obviously he had to evacuate Tampa and go north, and he left the state. He went to like North Carolina or something. But he was with a lot of with two families, both I think biologically intact, mother, father, and like a kid or two. And both of them were kind of like basically masculinized betas. So they weren't like totally like Ray Romanos, like total pushovers or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they both ceded decisions and leadership to the wives in ways that were, with a red pill lens, he's fully red pill aware. And on top of that, this guy has like a north of a triple digit lay count. So he has tight game and he's red pill aware now for a while. For him just watching those decisions and these interactions go on for a couple of days when he was out of the state with these families that also left for the hurricane, it was just well, it's like you can't unsee it. First of all, once you have the red pill lens, you can't undo it. But on top of that, it was just like alarming to see this. You know, these guys were not like total pussies, but damn, they both were making bad blue pill decisions that were hurting their lives, whether or not they knew it. And that's going to play out over time in ways that just suck and that are totally unnecessary.
Right.
So, and yeah, the leadership thing, you know, like it's hurt. It's just leadership lacking in their personal lives that's now affecting their children and their wives and everything else they're going interacting with that.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely. Yeah, man.
what I want to say too, shit, based on the leadership thing. Oh yeah, so you mentioned like meeting the speakers and and that's brownie points, whatever. You get to meet somebody cool, right? In some cases, that's fucking, if they've impacted your life, that's super badass.
Oh, yeah.
You really want to meet them and thank them in person for that. But one of the things that came to mind when you said that is, I've said this for a while, is that the convention is a chance to meet your heroes, right? So the speakers. And sometimes there's a saying that like, don't meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed. Dude, I've never found that to be the case. When I meet people like Ron Paul, Nathaniel Brandon, and then our speakers and stuff, like it's fucking awesome. And I'm so glad I do it and I've done it. And Andrew, the private man, is actually the person, the man that this event is dedicated to because he died last year or this year. Right. And he spoke last year. And that's like part of what I'm talking about is like, dude, you don't know when these speakers are going to die. Like Andrew, we knew he had cancer and then he spoke and then he died. And I'm really glad he spoke and people got to meet him. Yeah. And that was a, pristine fucking example of why to attend. Because when you meet somebody, they might die. They might die of cancer. They might get hit by a bus the next day. You don't fucking know. Yeah. So that's some of the value of meeting people in person is like, you don't know when you're no longer going to have that, not only the opportunity, but even the possibility. You can't meet Andrew, the private man, anymore. He's fucking dead. He's dead as a door now. Yep. Rollo could come to the event and you can meet him, and then the next day he could die from fucking getting hit by a bus or something, or shot, or who knows what. Yep. So I hope not. I mean, we have security and stuff at the event, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But you don't fucking know, man. Like people die all the time. People just died in a storm recently in Florida. I don't know how many, a couple dozen or something.
Right, man.
But yeah, meet your heroes,
and like
before it's too late.
Yeah, and that's definitely another reason why people should attend. And another reason is also that, I've watched countless hours of YouTube videos and reading books and all that. And yeah, passive learning is good, but it has its limits. When you're actually there, interacting, and you're actively learning, that's how you really embody stuff at a way faster rate than just like reading it passively or watching a video passively. All that stuff is passive. Like I went to school, I got my high school diploma. I can't remember shit. Okay. I sat in a classroom passively for like, I don't know how many years, 12 years or whatever. So,
dude, to be honest, I learned more in high school football than I did in high school itself. And I took the hardest classes available in the state of Florida in the IB program. Like I'm serious. I learned more about life than playing football for 4 years than I did in and getting hurt and weight training and like team and being on a team and tribes and stuff like that than I did in high school. Like part of that too is it's not just to beat up in education. Part of that's like feminism, like infiltrating the school system, school systems and education, and then like defective boys or defective women, basically. But yeah, a lot of it is just fucking horrible at this point.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of what I was trying to bring up earlier. And
sure.
At the end of the day, the 21 convention, you also got the 21 university, which just to also put that out there, it's basically like the Netflix for men, for men that want to get better.
Yeah.
The nonfiction Netflix for men. And
it better be nonfiction. Fuck.
But what I wanted to say was that even now, like at the conference that's coming up, there's a few, I don't know if I should mention anything. I'm going to leave that to you, but I am going to say that some of the speakers coming in, not all of them have the same worldview when it comes to stuff, and that's
No, that's
okay.
right. Totally.
And
Not
that's
all of
okay.
them are red pill. I mean, like at least Ross Jeffries disagrees with Rollo on stuff, although he likes Rollo stuff too. So it's kind of an odd
That's what,
juxtaposition or whatever.
that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah,
Is when you go to a
yeah,
university these days, it's like everyone's expected to kind of feel and think the same, and if they don't
yep,
agree, fired.
yep,
And at this event, you're going to have guys disagreeing about stuff, and you know what?
yep,
That adds to the event, and that,
totally.
that's why it's called a university or convention. That's where men get together and challenge each other. They debate stuff. They talk about different ideas,
Yep.
practical and able to be embodied. And I think that that's
I
all.
think that's something I've talked with Rollo a lot about personally. Is that like I expected better out of a lot of our alumni speakers in terms of the ability and the willingness to openly debate serious issues. And the purple pill versus the red pill or whatever, it is an example of that. And the fact that a lot of them dropped out when they had the opportunity to be at this event and actually engage in that kind of debate, peacefully and civilly, that was just totally that was horrible. It sucked. It sucked to see anyway, to see that happen. But that's exactly, I think, the power of the red pill is that like people like Rollo and other speakers are willing to like engage in that debate, and the other side is not a lot of the time. Sometimes they are. I think Ross is coming to the event. He's an example of that. It's the first time speaking at the event, but he's a good example of that, and we'll see how that goes. Like I'm totally goes to sit Rollo and Ross down and like just watch that play out from the sideline.
Oh yeah, man.
But there's not enough. There's not. I don't know if there's enough of that, but there's not as much of that as there probably should be, and both sides should be willing to debate. And a lot of times, the other sides are not.
Yeah, man.
So, what else did I want to mention? Do shit. Oh yeah. So what you're getting at, by the way, I think, is that there is a real diversity of opinion and thought in 21 University, and that's evolving over time, like everything else in the world, right? That's fun. But like you're mentioning, like not real universities, but like old universities and things that are entrenched with feminism and like leftism and like all kinds of like fucked up collectivist shit. They don't have any diversity of thought anymore. The second you have, or even companies like Google, the minute you have a diverse opinion, you're just fucking literally fired in some cases, or expelled from the university, or all kinds of like horrible fucked up shit.
Right.
So yeah, there isn't I went to UCF in Central Florida. It's like in 2015, it was the biggest university in the United States with like 60,000 enrolled students. I think this year is like over 60,000. It's crazy huge university. And I could tell you flat out, I didn't learn shit at that place for 4 years. And part of that's on me because I was so focused on this business, I wasn't paying attention. And part of that is just that the universities at that size at this point are just totally, they're not even about education, they're about indoctrination. Well, shit like that on campus. And it's not just UCF, it's every other major university in the United States. It's not a place for independent critical thinkers, basically, which is why I think also I got out of there as fucking soon as I realized it. Like, nope, this ain't for me.
Right.
Because yeah, diversity of opinion and thought and debate are no longer. Not only is it no longer a priority at these places, it's not even allowed. It's not even permissible to debate and things like that. You've been kicked off or slandered or seen or accused of being a misogynistic, racist, sexist, bigot, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
So,
it's like,
I mean, you're French, right? Fuck you fucking Western cisgendered male. You're a total piece of shit.
Exactly. And just to ask you before I say this, is this
Sure.
like public or it's kind of a surprise?
Is the what?
Is like the list of speakers fully public, or is some of it?
Yeah. No, totally, yeah.
Okay, because
the front page is every speaker on it, I believe, at this point.
Yeah, I remember that now. Okay. Yeah,
but the other pages, I think, have all of them, but each one is managed individually, so it's actually difficult to get all of them updated.
Yeah, where can guys see the list? Because some of these guys, they should see the list, and that'll probably
they should. Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't bought a ticket yet, which you should. So the list is at the 21convention.org, so .org, not .com. That's our main website. .org is for the event. The 21convention.org. It's also the card in this video, and underneath the video in the video description, you can click the link, go check out the list, check out the event, see everything that's going on with it. You'll see the city, by the way, but not the actual venue, which I've hidden from the public, because I don't believe this event is it's not a good idea to display it publicly at this point. I don't care about publicity stunts. I care about the truth. I care about content. I care about the speakers. I care about the ideas, not getting like a mob of like angry feminists outside, bitching about white, cisgendered, capitalist, patriarchal, maniacal, whatever, pigs or something. So
part of me, like my
Yeah.
I guess my guilty sort of desire is for them to come and for us to kind of have, you know, a bunch of just
No, dude.
feminists fucking screaming and me just walking in like, you know.
Not we're many years out from that because like I really part of the reason too is I really don't want to deal with that. That's a major strain financially, mentally on my attention that could be better focused on content and videos and ideas. So I'm not opposed to confrontation. I'm totally for confrontation, but I want to be intelligent about that and not do it willy-nilly just for no fucking reason.
Of course.
Like it because not that it's not fun, but or it could be fun. It could also be dangerous. Who knows, right?
Definitely.
But there's more important things going on, and I don't give a shit about those people.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not interested in peacefully, civilly debating something, then they're fucking losers anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want anything to do with them.
Definitely. And one of the reasons I brought up the speaker list was to say that some of the speakers there, they're going to be talking about stuff that isn't really addressed too much in the whole like dating scene, like you know, like Jack Donovan or you know Ivan Throne. But those two guys, for instance, especially Jack Donovan, he's going to go into some stuff that I feel like a lot of men would benefit from.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been reading his book. His book's fucking awesome. I've been reading it lately again. It's so much. It's so intense. I fucking love it.
It's so important for men to understand how to communicate with other men, which is becoming a lost sort of art. And I think that that's also a big deal. You know that's coming up in this conference, which is you're going to have some guys that are going to be talking about like how do you deal with other men? How do you create a tribe? How do you like create a network of a brotherhood? Like these are important questions that are also not really addressed enough. So I feel like that adds to the diversity of the event. So it's really
well,
cool.
they're not just not addressed like elsewhere, you know, in society. They're usually actively distorted. So you have a lot. It's not like you just come, you hear Jack Donovan speak, or Rollo, or Alan Roger Curry, or Zan, or whoever. You come into this event a lot of the times, unfortunately, with like a lot of shitty ideas that have given you pain in your life and driven you to find a solution, which would be the convention, or the speaker, or their book, or their video, or talking to them, or whatever. So yeah, you come in with the whole. I mean, the attendees at this point, the red pill ones at least, I think have a lot less of that probably. But no matter what, I mean, you usually have some shitty ideas from some lingering past of feminism indoctrinating you or whatever. Yeah. I was really surprised actually. That was one of the biggest kind of revelations I had finding red pill. Is I've been opposed to feminism for like more than half a decade. Like actively think it's just horrible, shit nonsense. But finding red pill made me realize I still accepted a lot of feminist premises and beliefs that I didn't realize were from feminism. And realizing that, I was like, oh, fuck, like, oh, son of a bitch. But then also being able to pull them out like weeds and get them out of my head finally. But it was a big head trip because I really hated feminism before the red pill. And then finding out that some of that, a lot of that shit, I don't know, a lot, but a significant amount was still in the way I thought on a daily basis. I was like, fuck, get the fuck out. Get all this shit away from me.
Definitely. And that's another reason why people should actually go to the event as opposed to just reading or whatever. When you go there, you actually like see these guys and how they think and how they talk and how they carry themselves, and it communicates, a layer of knowledge that you can't just get from passively absorbing. Sorry.
Well, I think face-to-face communication in particular. I'm not totally up to date or informed on the science, but as far as I know, face-to-face communication, like in person, you connect dots a lot quicker and you connect with the person a lot quicker and a lot more deeply.
Right.
So their influence on you and their ideas, in terms of if you want their ideas to influence you even more, meet them. Like if you love Rollo's work, or you love, Alan's work, or you love Jack Donovan's work, or whoever, meet them and talk to them, even for like 2 minutes in the hallway, but probably even more than that. Who knows, right? It's a 4-day event. But dude, that's a huge impact, and that helps you like if you're having trouble swallowing the red pill, dude, meeting someone like this and seeing them and talking to them and like hearing how they live and think, that I think will help speed that process up immensely.
Exactly, man. And it's a lot about conditioning. And I feel like once again, when you actually meet the people, it kind of undoes your conditioning a bit more because you see in every aspect of how they are. So that kind of like impacts you at a cellular level almost. So yeah.
Yeah. No, you get a total picture. You get it's not like a super deep picture, but you get a first impression. You get to, see the person face to face, talk to them, shake their hand, have a beer, coffee, whatever. And yeah, I think you absorb things a lot quicker and more deeply that way than just reading about it on your laptop or your phone or something like that. So
yeah, definitely.
Cool. Let me check the questions, team. I haven't checked in a while. Can we hear some knowledge instead of selling the event? This is the knowledge, man. Dropping knowledge bombs in your ass. The knowledge, like with an A in it. Someone else asked, when Zamparion, the full speech will be up on YouTube? Any day. Honestly, I have it ready to roll. I just need to upload it and get it, like the final edition, like ready to, basically primed on YouTube, like set to publish. So I've just been busy as shit. So, Max and Mike and everyone else working with us. So it's been ready to go actually for a few weeks. I'm sorry about that. But any day now it'll be up and ready to roll. And we have a lot more videos to come too. Full-length videos we're going to publish on YouTube. So that's definitely on the way. Just a lot, between the hurricane, screwing up Orlando, and then, the event coming up, it's been a lot going on. One of our speakers actually commented, Gray Bailey, the Silver Sultan, I think they call him. He was commenting to someone else, and Gray said, to make it in this business, you have to be first, great, or different, and the 21 Convention has it all. And I think he's right. This is the world's first major red pill gathering and event. It's full credit to Christian McQueen for putting on the Man in Demand conference, it was called, in 2015. But that was a single event, and it wasn't at the scope and depth of this thing. So like Rolo said, this is like the first major red pill gathering that's, spanning multiple days. Totally, for the event, really, it's like 6 days between setup and then a follow-up. So this is almost like a week-long event, at least for the staff and volunteers and stuff. So yeah, this is the world's first. It's the fucking greatest. It's amazing. It's 10 years. And it's radical and different to the fucking max. So it doesn't get, we're hitting at least all the corners that Grace pointed out, we're hitting hard. Oh, someone asked actually how much it would cost to attend. He's new to the channel. So a full price ticket to the event is $14.99, but if you buy today before midnight and you use the discount code FINAL21, there's only 10 uses available, you can get it for half off. So $749.50 is what you'll pay exactly. And that's for a 4-day conference. So that's all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, plus events at night on Friday and Saturday, officially. And then on top of that, we have like unofficial events that people will kind of set up and stuff like that. So full price, $14.99. If you buy before tonight, you pay $749.50, which is fucking sick. That's even cheaper than the early bird we had a few months ago, but it's limited to 10 guys. So if it runs out, it runs out. And also it expires at midnight tonight, or 11:59. So jump on that shit.
Jump on that shit.
Get it. Oh, what did we just said, we had a saying last year, McNally and I would say like, should have bought a ticket. Should have bought a ticket, bro. Don't be that guy. Don't be that fucking guy, man. Don't be the guy watching the live stream and like, oh, I should have bought. Yeah, you should have bought a ticket, man.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you miss out. Yep. So I got a few minutes left before I got to run. Do you have any more questions, Max?
Yeah. Let's see. What are some of the more? What are some topics that are going to be addressed that haven't been addressed before? Like, what are some interesting new topics coming up?
So there's actually two that come to mind immediately, but it's always a diverse conference in terms of content. It's not just like red pill motherfucker or like game. There's always been, even since day one in 2007, we've had fitness and fashion at the event, or fitness and style. So this event, you'll see style addressed once again by Tanner Guzzi. You're going to see, I've asked Gray Bailey, or George Bruno is his real name. I think it's his real name, pretty sure. But he goes by Gray Bailey on YouTube. He goes by both. It's odd. But he'll be talking about, I've asked him to talk about basically facial grooming and taking care of your face, and not just taking care of it like mechanically, but like the meaning of that and the philosophy behind it and what that means. And he has a whole YouTube channel dedicated to that. Just YouTube search Gray Bailey. Last name, or second part, Bailey. And that's like, I've actually had that on my mind for like probably a year and a half, 2 years now. So I'm actually very excited for that. And I think that's actually more important than men realize. It's specifically a sexual trait, or a sexually dimorphic trait we have that never gets talked about, or rarely gets talked about or addressed seriously. That's the first time we're having that at this event. And I think it's going to complement Tanner Guzzi's talk really, really well. On top of that, well, Richard Nicolai, who's planning to talk about cryptocurrencies, he's a returning alumni speaker, so that's cool. And then on top of that, we'll have Richard Cooper. He might be talking about business. We'll see. He's been working on a speech, in private for a little while. But that might be a big part of what he talks about. And then Christian McQueen will be talking about business and wealth as well. Wealth. I don't know if that came through clearly. And that's important. I think it's important for men to be powerful and wealthy in their lives. Not just game aware and powerful, not just red pill aware and powerful, but seductive, healthy, fit, and wealthy, and focused as you can be on your career, whatever that happens to be. in a way that benefits your life and you specifically and your happiness.
Right.
So those are the ones that come to mind. Like you mentioned, Jack Donovan too. That will be a huge, I think, big surprise for a lot of guys. Anybody who doesn't know him is going to be like, "Holy shit!" So I'm looking forward to that one too. All of them, but these are the ones that are really they're in their own little categories. Whether it's beards, whether it's style, whether it's money, whether it's cryptocurrency, anything like that. It's in its own kind of auxiliary category outside of game and the red pill,
Definitely.
which take up the majority of the event, probably like 60-70%, something like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, that's freaking awesome, man. And yeah, especially
Got time for one more. So, go ahead.
you you're saying one more question on my end or on the message?
I got time for one more before I got to run, but also finish up whatever thoughts you had. Sorry for interrupting.
It's all good. I was just once again trying to get reaffirm the fact that I'm excited about Jack Donovan because I actually met the guy in
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
you met him? Oh, I'm jealous, you motherfucker.
Yeah,
Nice.
I hung out with him for like a few hours once because his parents are from Pennsylvania, so he was in the area where I was in, and I just kind of met up with him. And yeah, he's just
Cool.
he's about it, man. He's about it, and that's really like the feel I'm getting from this convention, especially with guys like Ivan Throne coming in and like
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
manly shit right now, man. Like the warrior stuff,
Yep.
the masculinity, the
Yep.
tribes, and I just wanted to like mention a thought I've been having for a while, and
Sure.
wanted to see what you thought about this. But pickup went from like or the whole like manosphere scene sort of went from like how do you get laid? So you had mystery, and then you had like
Well, you had Ross Jeffries. We had Ross Jeffries before that. He's been in it for a while.
okay, so you had Ross Jeffries, and then it went from
Yep.
like dating to like authenticity to like spirituality, and then now it's taking like this red pill turn. What do you think is next? Because in my opinion, I think tribes is next. That's my thought on it.
You mean, yeah, to Jack Donovan stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like not a lot of guys talk about it,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be big. Like, what do you think?
Yeah. So I think one way or another, the manosphere will continue to evolve. I hope that doesn't sound too vague or general, but it's definitely it's not very old, but since it's been around, it's been changing. And the red pill it's spinning off from the POA movement is a really good example of that. And then there's MGTOW, and then there's the men's rights, activism and all that. So hopefully, my hope is maybe, so this is what I'm spitballing. But my hope is that it continues to evolve, hopefully in a positive way, in a healthy way, like Rolo's trying to spearhead, I think, with positive masculinity. And on top of that, you'll see, I think, maybe less infighting within the manosphere, like the men's rights movement stealing for their documentary, the name, the red pill. Like, that was just absolutely fucking stupid. I have zero. The issues are real, but that's just stealing a title from another movement that you don't like is this douchebaggery to the extreme. So I want to see less shit like that and more of like a common vision and purpose, which is probably defeating feminism and ending it, is my vision for it. I don't see it. I disagree with the fact or the idea that it's a flip side of feminism. But in a lot of ways, I think the manosphere is a response to feminism that the internet has enabled. And we need to continue to push forward and continue evolving these different ways. And yeah, less infighting and more like, there's an enemy. Maybe it's not individuals, but it's ideas. Feminism is vicious and evil, and it causes a lot of fucking problems in the West, and long-term is very, very dangerous. Maybe the biggest threat we face. So I'd like to see it head more in that direction in some way, and ending, or fighting and combating in a very serious way, feminism as a hateful and supremacist movement that it is. And I think the manosphere has done okay up to this point, and Red Pill is now doing a lot better. And I want to see more and more of that over time. Tribalism, though, will probably be a big part of that. And even that, I mean, that's tribes fighting within the larger manosphere. That's infighting between tribes. But it's stupid, like, in that it's counterproductive, I think, of them to do that. Or for the men's rights to, for example, steal their title and, shit on the red pill like that. The POA movement might do it as well, or who knows what.
So with that being said, man, 21 Convention at the front lines of the ideological war going on in today's world.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Yep. I don't know how the fuck that all happened, but it just kind of like, I just started doing events when I was really young at 17, and here we are 11 years later, believe it or not. So somehow it all happened.
Yeah, and I know we're running on time, so maybe we could tell the guys once again how they can get a ticket.
Yeah.
fucking now because they need to for
Yep.
this.
Yes. Guys, if you don't have a ticket yet, you need to go to the 21convention.org. So it's .org. The link you can actually click in the video description right underneath this video. It's also on the card, which is either in this direction or in this direction. I always forget. Like the little button, you know, click that or tap it. And then use discount code if you're watching this on September 17th, 2017 before midnight Eastern time, use discount code FINAL21 and you get the ticket half off the full price, which is the best price we've ever offered on the tickets publicly, period, by a long shot. So you need to use that code, get your ticket, come out to the event. To say it's worth it is an understatement. It'll change your life. It'll change your life in a way that is serious and deep, not some like vague, like, I have a PayPal account, therefore I'm going to change the world. Like, your life will fucking change in a really profound way, in a way that you probably won't even anticipate. So come out to the event, get your ass out to it, get a flight, come down to Orlando, Florida, have a good time, and meet the men who are fighting for themselves and in a way for you, for men.
Oh, yeah.
So there we go. Max, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. You can hang out for a minute after I end it. I'm going to end the live stream now. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in live or watching this later on YouTube, the recorded version. Peace.